Greetings, everyone. You are joining me on a journey into the world of Marion Clyde McCarroll's Summer Cookbook, Circa 1954. This historical text is one of many examples of 1950s cookery, and we are embarking upon that today in style. That's right. I am getting dressed up as a 1950s woman would to the nines, and so is my sister because she thought it sounded fun. I didn't see you there. Welcome to Cooking with Hannah, Life in the 50s. It's a working title. See, this makeup in a situation only took about 2 hours, so we have plenty of the evening to burn away, making my favorite treat, leftover meat rolls. Yum! It's a way to use your leftover meat, unspecified, and turn it into something scrumdiddlyumptious that your family will love. Off to the grocery store to feed the family. Lord knows I have one. Oh, look at oranges. 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 So picture is everything you'll need. You're gonna want biscuit mix, butter, onions, leftover meat, and cream of mushroom soup. And for leftover meat, I just went to my deli, got some sweet and sour meatballs, and I'm going to rinse them out in the sink and make them no sour meatballs.
Recreating 1950s food is one thing, but what's it like to have actually lived through the era? I had to ask Tad Johnson.
Life wasn't easy for young Tad. Each morning he and his siblings would pile into the covered wagon and ford a river to get to school. That is, until one day they found that their school teacher had died of dysentery.
So Dad, what do you think about 1950s food?
It's awful. Everything was canned and they came out with chemicals, like there was this stuff called Whip and Chill. Nobody still knows what was in it, but they stopped eating it, I know that. And they were eating Jell-O, and everybody was drinking Tang because the astronauts did. Tang is like Kool-Aid. Anyway, most of the people from the 50s are dead, so what does that tell you?
Well, thanks for your contribution, Dad.
Always glad to contribute to science.
Something else was bothering me, though. Almost all of the recipes in Marion's cookbook included envelopes of gelatin. Why were people so obsessed with this? To get answers, I asked Jell-O expert Madeline Johnson.
So before we had powdered gelatin, we had, it was incredibly time-consuming to make. Gelatin was used primarily as kind of a savory ingredient, rarely as a dessert, by upper ruling classes and the extremely wealthy. And the reason for that was because the process of making Jell-O was incredibly time-consuming and very expensive. You needed, the bones of animals. You needed, parts that had collagen, and it took a really long time to break that collagen up and to purify it. One dish that, is a example of a savory gelatin dish would be the fish in aspic from NBC's Hannibal. It was actually a really high-class type of gelatin dish that would have been very exciting and very fancy to have at a party if you were living in medieval times or any time before the 1800s. around the Industrial Revolution, new forms of making gelatin were created. So in the late 1800s, they found a way to make powdered gelatin, and basically after that, technology was improving more and more, and the gelatin became a lot easier to produce and easier to market and create in massive quantities. And it became something cheap, and it was a commodity that everybody could afford. And with all of, massive marketing, it became an ingredient that people could use and use easily. So any housewife could just dissolve a packet of gelatin and water and have this dish that, until that era, would have been considered extraordinarily high class and very difficult to create, and a sign of wealth and skill. And it was available right at your fingertips.
Now that I know why we have 50s foods, time to move back into the how. But challenges were ahead.
Oh god, it's making me feel kind of ill.
And then...
Making your sister know.
How is this supposed to work? So I read the instructions. It says to roll it up like a jelly roll, but it seems like the dough to goo ratio is a little different than the recipe had thought. I have an idea. I'm gonna stretch the dough. I'm gonna stretch. No, this will just cause more problems.
I bet you could have made that mushroom soup mixture a little bit more solid with an envelope of gelatin.
Okay, wait, we're gonna try it this way.
It's not gonna get better.
Yeah, this is rough. I think what we're gonna do, what often happens is, in some videos I've seen, is they freeze the thing. Wait, no. No, wait, never mind. That's wrong. Hey, did you hear the chill from the Amish show? I need to watch that Amish girl.
I don't want to watch the Amish show anymore.
You guys are not Amish enough for me.
Except that. I don't think this is...
You just need to hug it from sides. Gentle hug. Gentle hug.
This is so gross.
Gentle hug. A gentle hug, Madeline. I have an idea.
Beyond belief. Like, please God. This is the worst recipe video I've ever seen in my entire life.
Who do you know? How much YouTube have you seen? I would put really inspiring music here in the video.
You can't put music over, like, your own...
I can't believe Dad turned off my Amish show. That's kind of the last straw this evening. She was discovering herself, Dad. They invented aluminum foil, probably in World War II. I'm making stuff up now. And then we're gonna gently slide the not burrito onto this thing.
I'm very scared.
And now now, after it has been in the freezer and has adopted some friends. And now, as if we're slicing a jelly roll, that's the example that Marion gave in her cursed cookbook, which I'm never using again. We cut it into 6 slices.
Oh god, that is a really unpleasant sound.
Mmm, slice. Mmm, slice.
This is like the opposite of ASMR.
Slice. If the S stood for Satan. Mmm, slice. How many slices we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
That's the devil's number.
Oh god, it looks even worse as like a cross section. Alright, so then we take that too thick dough, and that's the reason that none of this came to fruition, I think. And then you stick her in, set a timer for some minutes, which I'm going to find out soon enough. Bon appetit!
It's been a long day, and all I've got to say is make it.
This is best enjoyed with a spatula.
It's done.
Here comes the big moment. Ah, look at those crisp, ready rolls. Remove from the oven. See how the meat stuff is bubbling within? That means they're extra ready. So at the end of it all, what did my rolls end up tasting like? Not bad. The biscuit mix turned out really, really well. And the cream and mushroom soup kind of just stayed the same. I think one of my problems was it was assuming that you would have like a dry biscuit mix. And so my problems stemmed from the very thick biscuit mix. That was where I messed up. I also messed up because I reread the recipe later and I saw that you were supposed to reserve some of the cream and mushroom sauce and then put it on top like a minute before it emerges from the oven. So also would have been disgusting, and I'm glad I didn't do that. Take a look at these beautiful rolls. What about this one in my mouth? Oh. Is it weird that I like this? Like, I kind of like it. Maybe it's just because it's like 11 at night. I'm hungry again. I'm feeling this. I mean, it's bread, and it's like gravy. It's like what you want. It's basically biscuits and gravy, deconstructed, sent through hell, and then sent back again. So I heard from the girls on Sunday that Beverly's husband is cheating on her with me.
I remember when they first brought automobiles to my town, and they said, "Mary Lou, don't you dare get behind the wheel." And I said, "Why? Is it because I'm a woman?" And they said, "No, it's because you're drunk."